Hi, can you tell me about a social issue that you feel strongly about?
I feel strongly about gun control in America. I have grown up in a police officer's home, so I don't think that guns should be banned. But I don't agree with automatic weapons. I don't think that there's any use for that outside of military. So, and I especially don't agree with the government talking about legalizing silencers. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I think an issue that many people think isn't an issue anymore is the wage gap. So equal pay for men and women, and I think it's still an issue that is in our society, but a lot of people don't want to recognize or think that it's not there.
Do you know why people don't want to stand up for something like that?
I think people don't want to stand up for it because a lot of people don't think it's happening anymore, and so they kind of have deny the issue rather than not recognize it, I would say. So I feel if people address the issue and realize that it is an issue still, that people would stand up for it.
Being an economics major, one of the things that we definitely talk about a lot is inequality. By inequality, I mean typically in the workplace. You can see that names still have a huge impact on whether or not people get jobs, having nothing to do with their requirements. So I think that's something that we should address as a society on how we can change that, whether it be applications that might not have a name on there. If we can avoid those biases, it will definitely make a difference and help the workplace out by hiring the most talented people and not discriminating.
So one of the things that really stands out to me a lot personally is social justice, especially when it comes to racial tension, especially with Black Lives Matter being a big part of movements. With the new president being elected, we've had a lot of social issues, especially with DACA or with Black Lives Matter. There have been riots, protests, and one of the reasons why it's near and dear to me personally is because I'm from a multicultural family, and that's something that's a serious topic that we do have to really address because it's something that we really, given our position, we're not meant to ignore it, but it's also something that really should be brought to everyone's attention because right now we're kind of in a state where since nothing's really being talked about or discussed, it's becoming a bit more of a vicious circle of over again something happens, we all are pray for this, pray for that, but we never really talk about the root issue of it. And that's one reason why it's really important to me personally. I think another thing too is just that right now there's a big question mark on the state of education because especially when it comes to those who are in special or modified education. And that's, again, something else that's really near and dear to my heart because I've grown up and I've had friends who are part of that. I myself had an IEP during high school because I had never realized I had something that put me within that category. And so I think the fact that we're trying, as a nation, we think the best way to try to increase our education on an international scale is by standardizing everything also is a topic that I'm concerned about personally just because of the fact that really, it's not realistic. It's something that we can't realistically expect future generations to just have that same sort of mindset. We really should be embracing the differences and how we can help one another reach better levels of education because that in turn helps really increase understanding. And I'm going to stop there. Those are, I think, the two big things that really kind of stick out to me is that right now we're definitely in a time of uncertainty in our nation, and things such as Black Lives Matter and DACA being a huge focus. I have a lot of passion. I have passion for those because there are people close to me in my life again that identify under the program of DACA, or I'm from a multicultural family, so Black Lives Matter is such a huge part of the discussions we realistically need to have, and then also to just social justice for education, for the education system, because there's so much being done, but it seems as if there's not enough to really speak for people to be hearing about. It's like we really need to hear about these things. And sorry, I'm gonna make a trifecta.
No, that's fine.
a trifecta being the current state of feminism, and that there's a lot of negative connotation, like, oh, it's just about like trying to really empower women. It's like, no, it's trying to empower the whole person. It's trying to really understand the concept of equality and equity for all genders, and that's another big thing too, is that we're kind of losing sight of, that I feel like a lot of people are losing sight of. And from a politic standpoint, it doesn't seem like necessarily we are able to agree on the fact that we really should be trying to look at an equality and equity standpoint for all genders, whether you're cisgender or transgender, or you're a man or a woman, or you're transitioning. Like, it really shouldn't make a difference. The fact that we have people that are petitioning and protesting for these rights seem, in my mind, is unacceptable, because we shouldn't have to be fighting for these things. Like, I mean, yes, a lot of things that we've done, we've had to fight for, but on the stance of because someone's different is not okay. It really isn't. And and a part of me just is so baffled by the fact that people are having to petition because we can't grasp around the idea of America was being built on the basis of people being equal. I mean, yeah, at the time it was thinking about white middle-aged men in mind, but times change, and so have we.
I feel very strongly about the social issue of abortion, and although there are outlying circumstances such as rape where an abortion would seem like a logical answer, I think other than that, that abortion should be illegal, because by saying that an embryo is not a human, we're kind of denying the fact that it's going to eventually turn into a human, and that human has the right to live.
Is there anything that you can do to actively support this cause?
I'm just going to continue to, if someone asks me about my opinion, then I'll be open in expressing my opinion to them, with obviously hearing their side of the opinion too, but I'm just perfectly comfortable talking about my opinion on abortion.
So one issue on campus that I see, and this is definitely across college campuses, is that there's not enough education about consent and drinking. And so I take huge issue with people having sex when they're drunk, because it's totally not consensual for anyone. The lines are all blurry, it's just not safe. And particularly, I've seen like signs outside of houses here on campus that have said 21 and over to drink, 18-ish to spend the night. And I just think like encouraging rape culture and people talking about getting with people when they're drunk, it's just like not good for the health and safety of all students.
Do you think that there's anything we can do to try to combat that?
Yeah, I definitely think there could be like an intro health class for freshmen, more than just an online training that students are gonna click through. I think it could be a part of CS classes or the like freshman year classes, or make some sort of, I don't know, posters, warnings, like just spread the word more that like it's not okay.
Cool.
Probably the death penalty.
Why?
Who are we to decide when people should die, or just as bad as that?
Is there anything that you think we can do to combat this, or
Get rid of it.
Well, there's the AIDS Walk Wisconsin this weekend in Milwaukee that I will be attending, that I feel is very important, because AIDS is something that a lot of people don't realize that other people have. Like, it's a quite common occurrence, and it's not really talked about, because it's kind of, so a lot of people see it as embarrassing because it's associated with like gays, and so it has a lot of what's the word?
negative connotation?
Yeah.
So do you have an idea of what we could do to raise awareness or like be more engaged in this?
I mean, supporting programs like AIDS Walk Wisconsin and other programs, but also just talking about it, spreading awareness. I mean, a little bit goes a long way.
I feel strongly about quite a few issues. I'm part of what's called Amnesty International. It's an international nonprofit, but has a chapter here at Carthage. We've done a lot of issues like fair trade, raising awareness about the fair trade, selling coffee and chocolate, to do awareness for that. We did 1 year we focused a lot on women's issues, like in developing countries. Just recently, I went to Chicago to go to a demonstration for the Rohingya Muslims. They're in Myanmar and Burma, and unfortunately, they're a minority and they're being extinguished. So we went to a demonstration about that and like raising awareness for that, and also raising funds for like the refugees in Chicago and Milwaukee. So yeah.
So like causes like these, is there anything that you think that we can do to raise more awareness about what's going on in our society, or?
Well, I think like especially in college, you can't like. It's difficult to keep track of all this stuff. People don't like watch the news or anything, but maybe they'll find it on their phone. About raising awareness, I don't know. Just talking to people about it will make a big difference. Just mentioning things about the world to educate others.
Cool. Thank you so much.